My mic was now working. Alright, perfect. So, morning everyone. Like I did for the two previous swing, I will try to explain you what we will do on Monday night and what you have to be prepared for. So, first we will start with Abomination Wing, which is one of the longest one because you have 4 bosses, but not that much trash, so it should be fine. On the Abomination Wings, you have 4 bosses. So, like I said, you have Patchwork, Grubulus in second, Glut in third, and to finish, Dadius, the boss of the end of the wing. Just quick start with Patchwork. Not really hard to understand for most of player. You have to land 3 or 4 tanks on this boss, and it's not like really hard to get. I mean, strategy. It's just basic and stupid fight where you have to keep your 4 tanks alive and to DPS as much as you can before your healers will be out of mana. The main trouble with this boss is the damage he will do on the tanks. So how it's working, first, except for the MT, will have to be, well, on top aggro, of course. The rest of the damage will be shared between the player with the most HP pool. So for that thing, you have one trick. If you're melee DPS, just use the green water behind. Then you will just lose around half of your HP, and you won't probably get hit by any big hit of Patchwork if you are close to 2 or 3k HP. If you get hit at this point, it's that we just lose some tanks or whatever. I will just leave you see the fight a bit, and especially the health bar of the tank who are group 1 here. So we had some trouble on pool. It was just related to ward buff, basically, because all of us was on with ward buff, and we start to move too quick. That was I just died like a fucking retard player. And for the rest, as you can see, all right, you saw it's about Shuriken who get probably on MT1. You have like a lot of big hit on him, so you have to keep healing the main tank all the time. And for the 3 other player, they will get it randomly by one more hit, will just do like 7k to 8k damage on them. At this point, the healer should have, if we have 3 tanks, the healer should have around probably 4 or 5 seconds at least to heal up the off tank for the next hit. So you saw the health bar, for example, switch on this one, get hit, alright, he get 7k. And you still have Wicklet, sorry for this shit, and you still have Ariana and Wicklet, also Blackos, but Blackos is supposed to be... oh no, but Wicklet is not... Never mind, so Wicklet is not... He's not tanking here, he's just on DPS. So you just have 3 tanks, Hurricane, Ariana, and Switch. Hurricane will never get hit by the additional hit who do 7k damage on him. It will always be the the player with the most HP pool close to the boss. So in this case, it's Ariana and Switch. As soon as Switch get hit by the strike, you have to, of course, heal up the tank as quick as you can. But during the time you heal switch, the next one who will get hit will be probably Ariana if switch heal is not top HP. Maybe we will have one example of that. No, not for this one. Here switch get hit again. It seems like Ariana never get hit at all. Switch again. So on tanks, the damage are based around 6k to 4k each hit. So it's pretty hard, of course. But as you can see, if the healers are able to just raise up the health bar of the off tank as quick as they can, so it's just about, oh, you see Wicklet get hit a bit here. But it's not that hard. Nothing to worry. At 5% HP, the boss will enrage, but still, when he is at 5% HP, if we are at least 30-35 players alive, we can finish him. Just spread a bit and try to finish the boss as quick as we can with caster and all the shit. Here's for patchwork. We will probably use a red comp with 12 healers and 3 tanks. And dispatch 4 healers on each tank. And the only players you have to heal on this boss is the main tank and the off tank, sorry. So you just have to heal 3 players, that's all. Don't try to heal the other one, especially if they want to drop their health bar, to avoid any hits. Alright, let's move to Grobulus, the next one. Grobulus is, how can you explain that? It's a mix between maybe the bomb on Geddon, but I mean on SoM, where you have to drop the bomb behind. Also, the boss will do like the same shit like Geddon in fire, but in poison. So he will drop a poison bomb on the ground, will grow and grow and grow and grow. So we have to move him all the fights. And do we have any example of this fight? No, probably not. Not sure about it. But well, we will use. You see, there is some kind of pass, all right, around the room. We will use this one to dispatch to just move the boss, and most of the raid we will just behind, and we'll have to move according to the main ability of the boss. Main ability, which are he will randomly spawn a blob. Well, no, he will do a breath on the main target, and each player gets hit by the breath will spawn a blob. So all the time the boss has to get turned around from the red, and the only one who have to get hit by the breath is the tank. Because if we get more players get hit by the breath, we will have like 5, 6, or maybe 10, 12 blobs at the same times, and we won't be able to manage to kill it. As soon as a blob spawn, one of tanks has to get it, put it in the melee group, and kill it as quick as we can. If we realize that the blob, because the blood is doing some AoE nature, if we just realize that the damage from the blob is too huge for the red, we will just move out from the melee, and the caster will have to kill it. But everything on this fight and all the strategy is about dispatching and removing the poison debuff on player. So the second ability of the boss is that he will drop a poison bomb on one player who could be dispelled because it's a poison shit. I don't know if maybe it's a plague. Maybe it's a plague. It's probably a plague. And when you will get dispelled by the plague, you will get hit by some nature damage, but also you will drop in on your feet one small circle of poison who will grow and grow and grow and grow. At start, the poison range is just 1 yard, so it's of course easy, but at the end, the full circle should be around 20 yards. So like I saw, like I explained it to my players here, you have to try to drop your plagues and your poison zone behind the boss. I will show you that on live after because we probably will. So this is the first spawn to drop your plagues. You have to get as far away as you can from the red, wait here, and one or two priest or shaman who will be just focus on this one will dispel you the plague, also shield you before dispel you, and as soon as you get dispelled, you just move back on red and you just start again your job. So it's pretty easy. The boss has not that much HP. You just have to respect the aggro to avoid any mistake, like the boss just moving back on red and breath at the same time. So we have, like I explained you before, 25 blobs at the same times. And also that one player forget he got a bomb and you dispel it too quick. The bomb will spawn just in the middle of nowhere and the middle of the red, and it will be just a fucking mess. So just be patient, wait, we will call the bomb and you will have to move behind to avoid any trouble. So we should pull the boss on his way back here. Here it is coming. So the first, yeah, I forget you. There is a third ability. You have one plague on. So you saw the mage. We just maybe move back a bit. Sorry for that. Just first, I forget one ability. The boss will also drop a poison zone randomly, not randomly, but probably every 20 seconds, just under his feet. So caster and well, player will get the plague, will have to move, but the tank will also have to move the boss because the poison zone will also grow up and melee won't be able to hit. By the way, I don't explain to you, but if you stay in the poison zone, of course, you will get hit by insane nature damage and you will die. So you have to avoid as quick as you can the fact to just stay in the poison zone. So you will saw it just right now. All right, here you saw nuage empoisonné on my screen. It's the poison zone on the boss, and the tank will start to moving back. Here you have like this injection mutant. It's a random plague. It could be on anyone, all right? It could be on the melee, it could be on the caster, on the healer. everyone should get ready to move back. So the mage will just blink, like I explained to you, behind, and as soon as he will be here, you saw the paladin here, who will just dispel the plague, and everyone will move back on red after that. And the deeper we are in fight and the less HP the boss have, the more plague we will have at the same time. So at first it's just one player, but when the boss should be close to 50%, it will be 2 plague at the same time, and after 20% it will be 3 plagues at the same time. So you will have to move just really quick at the end. And so here is the poison cloud, sorry, so that you have to avoid and stay far away to don't take any damage. We should see a blob really soon. So you saw again the plague, blah blah blah. So after some point, this hunter choose a really nice spot to drop it, because we start already to move to the left, so you won't have to go always at the same spot for dropping your plague. You just have to choose a smart one. On this one, the position of this hunter so is perfect. He choose one spot where we will never go and who will be really free to drop the zone, because you already have one here, so no one will get close to this one, and it's perfect. Get dispel and move back on red. And here is a blob. So on classic, we just pull it on melee and just fucking cleave it. Probably we will do the same, but be sure healer to know, and we have the shaman, so it's pretty easy to manage because we will have a tons of heal rate for the melee. Be sure that this small one will just drop. It's the same thing like in Maraudon. It will drop some nature damage on the red, and we will have to get heal. It's not that hard to manage, but well. And so you saw the pattern. It's not that hard. Just move back, and move back. Be sure that when the tank will just turn to the left here, caster be always behind the boss, or at least on the flank. Because like I told you, if you are in front, if you try to greet too much, if you are in front, when he will breath, he will drop more blob. And you don't want more blob. So you saw the plague sheet coming to get faster and faster. And as a melee, if you get the plague, you have to wait, of course, to get dispelled before moving back. Or until you are not dispelled, you don't move from your spawn. You have to wait for it. And after some point, of course, the poison cloud just despawn, so we will have more space. But the kill was pretty much perfect here, so we will just try to do the same thing and it will be okay. Alright, next one, Mr. Glut. Mr. Glut is a dog, so like every dog, we will have to try and shot him because he will be on rage. Sorry. We'll try to explain you the pool. Alright, perfect. So Glut, yeah, we will have to trunk shot him. He has a fear also that we will have to trigger. He will drop on the tank a debuff who just reduce healing by 10% each time you get the debuff. So like all lot of boss, you will have to do a full rotation between tanks, but on this particular boss, you can't taunt the boss. So if you're DPS, first you should understand something. You will have always to be behind the second tank. So watch out your DPS. Easy at start. And for the tanks, all the job will be to use the fear from the boss to get out of aggro just during the fear, and just to probably get out from and from the melee during the fear to allow the second tank, the off tank, to get the boss back. I explain myself more specifically. Like you know it, if you want to get the aggro on melee, you have to get on 110% aggro of the main tank. Alright. If you are a caster, you have to be on 130% more. Because the boss is not turntable, the second off tank will have to build as much as he can at start. The main tank will have also to drop at some point the aggro. So melee, you just have to get ready to drop also your DPS at some point, just for the first rotation, and it's mainly like Akar, but with more tricky part. And as soon as the main tank will get fear, he will probably get fear first out of melee. So he will move on 130%. But because the first fear will get sucked with probably a cooldown or Berserker Rage from the off tank will just get the aggro as soon as the fear gets land on the first one. Alright, so the first one, don't will use the switch at start. Don't we try to just soak the first fear. He has to get fear on the first cast, and the second one have to just cut the fear to get the boss as quick as he can. And in additional to this aggro rotation, which is pretty tricky, so I explain you have also the trunk shot, but the main trouble will be additional ad spawn from 3 spots. I will try to show you when we will move in. It's skeleton, who are not that hard to deal with because they don't hit that much, but when they hit one player, they stack on him debuff, who just increased melee DPS on the player who get hit by 1%, I think, each time. And because you will have lots and lots of skeleton, like maybe 15 or 12 who will just roaming at the same time, the point is to take most of them and to kite them with mages and warrior. You don't want to get hit by one of them. You will probably be hit, but you try to avoid as many hits as you can. And the last ability of the boss at some random cooldown, maybe it's 1 minute or maybe 1 minute 30 seconds, I don't remember, we'll see it on poll. The boss will cast a decimate. So what's a decimate? When he casts decimate, first he won't do anything for like 3 or 4 seconds, but when the decimate just spawn, every player in the room will just see their HP just dropping at 1% HP. Right, so all the raid will be at 1% HP. Also, when decimate is cast, all the skeletons who were kite behind will just try to reach the boss, and if they manage to reach the boss, they will hit the boss by probably 2% for each skeleton who hits the boss. So if like 50 skeleton hits the boss will just win 100% HP. It's maybe more than 2%, by the way. So on decimate, you have two things to do. The first one is to just pull back HP on the 2 tanks as soon as you can. Alright? Because all the raid except those 2 tanks won't take any damage at just because after the decimate, all the skeleton will just try to reach the boss. They are not attacking anymore, so there is no trouble with them anymore. We just have to kill all the skeletons first and move back on boss after. But you have to just top the tank as quick as you can, and when it's done on tank, you will have all the time to just heal all the player. Probably as first after the tank, the player was supposed to kite the skeletons, because as soon as the decimate is done, all the skeletons will reach the boss, but some other will spawn like 5 or 6 seconds after, and they will just have to get tank like we did before the decimate. And it's a rotation about all of these things that we will have to do on this boss. Also, one tricky thing just before going on Glut is this particular road or way to go to the boss. We will have to just enter in like a tunnel of poison. So we will all use a nature protection, a GNPP. But when we are moving inside the tunnel, the boss is already like in fight. All right, he will not rush us before we just get out of the tunnel, but during the tunnel we starting the event. So on the way into the boss, you don't skill anything. No heal, maybe just the tank use rage, sorry, but that's all. And also because you have like a trap on the tunnel, you will saw it on the left here. All right, you stick to the right and you don't fall, please, on this hole here, because you can fall. And so you saw it just waiting for us. So as soon as we get down, you have to heal the tank. The tank have to take it. We will just put the boss close to the... So here one warrior just don't look at the aggro at all. We will just put it here. And there is some trick to know on this boss. If you use... I hope I will show you... Let me guess. You saw, all right. You saw this, the rogue, just right here. This particular thing, if you just break the laws before the fear, you won't get fear by the boss. It's a trick. Now you know it. There is the same thing just right here. And well, that's pretty much the only thing you have to do. So the second tank should be Ariana. She's now on the second one, but she's just far away on term of aggro. I don't know how we managed to do it. Maybe switch heal would get fear on the next one. It will just move back on Ariana. If the boss gets trunk shot, the hit is not that hard to manage. But well, you still have the debuff, and you saw the decimate on the top left of my top left corner of my my UI. All right, so we just use all ward buff to just fucking burn him, so we don't use. Maybe we will see a decimate. No, we won't. Oh, we will, maybe. No, we won't. But the bot get heal a bit. Well, alright, so we just nuke him before we saw the ability, but we will have to manage. Alright, and I just want to show you this and this behind. Alright, this is where the skeleton will stop. You have 3 of this sheet in the room, 1 to the right, 1 to the center, 1 to the left, and the skeleton will spawn on this particular spot. So you will have to take them. We will probably use 1 warrior and 2 mages, and the warrior have to take them as quick as he can. Mages, as soon as they saw big pack, they can Nova, snare him, and that's all. And of course 1 or 2 healer will have to watch on the tank. But the boss has not that many HP. We will just have to manage probably 1 decimate and it will be over. And also, yeah, we could use some hunter traps. well, some also shaman totem because we are on a horde side, so the totem would just reduce the movement speed could be really useful on this particular occasion. And now we are moving on Thaddeus, the last boss of the wing. Thaddeus will be in 2 phases, if we can just ask that a phase. On the first one, we will have to manage and to kill 2 guards just before moving to the boss. Those 2 guards are linked with, not linked, but we have to kill them at the same time. It's the same thing like Ebon Rock and Flame Gore on SoM. I will try to show you. So we will dispatch a raid in 2 groups, half to the left and half to the right. Caster will be on the left side and melee on the right side because it's more related to the guard's ability. It's more easy for caster to be on the left side than melee. So melee will have just to stick on the right one. And what will happen during this phase, it's a bit funny. Just let me show you. We will pull. Oh, it will already pull. So, yeah, just before that. Perfect. So you have one boss here, one boss here. Like I explained to you, the right one is for the melee, left one for the tank, for the caster, sorry. So we will just get in, start to DPS, but each 20 or 25 seconds, the tank will be swapped. How can they be swapped? In this case, because you have like a big distance between the 2 platforms, you will saw it really quick. So you have to get easy on aggro, like always, blah 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 blah. And here, it's the spawn for the tank to be. Alright, this line, this is where you want to be. You don't want to be just too close from here, and you don't want to be like here. You want to be just here, because at some point, like I explained to you, the tank will get swapped, and for this swap, they will get knocked back in the air from one platform to one another. If you get too far from here, the knockback will just move you too far away, so you will just probably land to the next wall, just like right here. And if you get too close to here, you will just get knocked back just out of the platform right here, and you will just fall into the green sheet, lose half of your HP, and just put your fucking raid in a danger. So you will have to get on the right spot. Here we have another aggro, which is probably stupid. I turned to save the raid, and I managed to. So you saw, alright, the tank was here, he just landed exactly here, and the other one was at the same spot, get here. When the swap occur, the aggro will be swapped between the tank as soon as they spawn on the platform. But during the swap, player who are still hitting the mob, still building aggro. So if you have if the tanks have 10k threats in more than you are free to DPS. But if you're like at just 1k or just 500 threat close to the main tank on those one, just get easy and wait for the second one to drop before moving back on DPS. Because like you saw when I taunt, if the healers are not ready to heal you, and if you don't have the right stuff, the proper stuff to tank it, you will just get burned and dead really quick. But I had to do this just to save the raid. So you saw also the ad can be taunt. And well, so we will have to kill them at the same times. Otherwise, we are just dead. If we don't kill them at the same time, one of the Tesla, who just casts the chain lightning, will just burn everyone. And as soon as the two Fogan Stalag are dead, you will have one more tricky things to do. It's this small jump. Alright, you think it's maybe nothing, but you just have the space. If you don't have any sprint or tools to just be more quick, the jump, you just should jump at the last time when you just before the fall, you jump and you will get just here. But if you fail, you will just of course fall again into the green sheet, be like half of your HP when you will move back. And also you will have to be aware, I will explain you after, about your polarity when you will have to move back. But if you fall, the only way to move back is to just run back to the entrance, because you have one way to get out from the green bus here, and just do the jump again. So as soon as you get the jump, all of us will just get in front of the bus, but just behind the tanks. So just sit behind the tank and wait, because the boss will spawn like 6 seconds, no, 10 seconds after we kill the both mobs before. And when it spawns, it will just eat the first one close to him. So if you're just too close from the boss, you will just risk to get it at first. So just stay back and wait. And of course, easy on aggro at start. Alright. What will do the boss? First, he will cast Chain Lightning, natural damage on all the raid, so you have to heal the raid, of course. For this one, we should have the best faction for that, because we have the shaman who will just have to spam chain healing on the raid, and it will be over. And the second one, who is more a tricky one, he will just cast at some point this one. Alright, it's polarity thing. So what is polarity? Half of the red alive, alright, but half of the red will just receive a buff. This buff will be a plus polarity or a minus polarity. Regarding to your polarity, you will have to choose a side, and you will have to stick with all the players who have the same polarities than you. Why? Because each players who get the same polarity and who are close and probably 3 yards to each other will get a buff who increase damage by 10% for each polarity they get. So, because at start we should be 40, and 20 player will get the minus, 20 player will get the plus. If the 20 plus are with all the plus, you will have like 190% of additional DPS, like 200, alright? So you will start to see incredible number on your screen when you will put your DPS sheet. But of course, it is the best scenario case, because if one player fail, and for example one minus just join the wrong group and join the plus one, he will just receive 2k damage by each plus close to him, so basically he's dead. But he will also himself do 2k damage to each player close to him. So all plus player will receive 2k natural additional damage when this player will just explode in the center of everyone. So all of this fight is just to watch out your polarity, choose the right side, get ready to swap side, because every 30 seconds the polarity will change. It could change on the same one, or it could change on the opposite one. And you will also have to watch out, especially warlock, mages, your aggro, because you're the class with the most efficient DPS when we are just boosting the overall DPS of it. Like it's exponential number, for example, because your Shadow Bolt, when you crit already did 3k or 4k damage, but if you are like 200% DPS more, it will be around 10k or 12k crit Shadow Ball damage. So you have to watch it. Of course, the tank will also have the buff, but it's not the same that when Warlock is able to crit and crit and crit and crit. So don't forget to watch out your aggro, especially because it's so funny to see big number on this boss. So most of the time when you see big numbers, you just want to see more big numbers. So you will see the polarity right here. All right, with us it's simple. The left side, who will be here, is always for the plus. The right side will be always for the minus. So plus on the same side, minus on the same side, and here we start. You saw it. All right, I told you 19 buff. All players are close to, and damage will start to flee over the room. So here, polarity change. As soon as the polarity change, you have like 4 seconds to swap or to stay regarding to your polarity. So at this point, when you see this hand here, you just have to look one thing, because when he's doing that, he's not hitting anymore and he's not casting anymore Chain Lightning on red. You just have to watch your buff here. And if you stay plus, like it was here, you don't move. But if you're minus, you will have to swap. And here, all right, when you saw this one, if you're not on the right side, you are dead. So it's just about 4 seconds before the boss will just charge the polarity on everyone. There is 2 ways to swap your side, all right? If you're really confident, the fastest and the easy one is to just run in and to change the side. But if you are not confident, you can also just maybe do like half circle here or half circle here to avoid, if you are late, any damage from the other swapping polarity if they are late also. So because we always use the clock's turnaround, if you get plus and if you want to join the minus side, the best one to do it is, so just like I explained, if you are confident enough to just straight line to the opposite, or to just turn to the left and move here. And for the other one, when you are minus, you will move to your left and do that, or just cross. But it's just if you're late. If you're late, it's better to just move to the left quick as you can. So also, yeah, of course, on this fight we will use a lot of GNPP. So you saw minus. As soon as you see minus, you swap quick. It's not really hard, to be honest, but because this boss has a lot of HP and everything is related to polarity, if like we have 4 or 5 players who just die too quick, we will lose a really hard amount of DPS, and the boss has also an enrage. So we want to avoid as much as possible any mistake. For example, yeah, alright, so one player here forget to swap, and this priest, pretty sure you saw it. I will just move back a bit to here. Alright, so polarity change, and you will saw. So I explained you, confident players should be able to drag, to just move quick, but here, alright, you saw here, this priest, he has a polarity swap, but she was a she, by the way. She was just to focus on health bar on the swap polarity. So we are already at 55. It's already 4 seconds before after the cast and the swap of the polarity. So she's too late. At this point, she's too late. She shouldn't have go by this way, but she shouldn't have do this, because when you do this too late, you will get hit by the player who are just too close from the boss on this side, and you will see the drop here. Clack. All right. She get hit, but even if she's here when the spell trigger, she was already too late. So during just the move, the spell just activate before, and she get hit. She didn't die, but she was really close to. And also one player exploded on the red, so it was a problem. And at the end of the boss, you will have to respect the polarity. Don't forget it. At the end of the boss, when the polarity, so we have to swap one more time. So we do the swap, and as soon as the boss is dead, you have to dispatch as quick as you can, and don't try to rush your mate on the other side. And why we dispatch? Because when the polarity will drop off, you will do 2k damage to player close to you. You see, I was too close from those 2-1. So when the polarity drop, I get 4k, was close to die, and well, most of the red die also. We should have just move here, just get out from the room and spread more on the entrance of Naxxramas. That was probably a mistake from us on this one. So this is for the black wing. I will just cut the stream here for this wing, and I will learn another one in 5 minutes, about maybe just 2 minutes, about Saphiron, who will be our second goal on Monday night.